Big box set. Look at all these great Indiana Jones movies on DVD. That's exciting. And now we're going to, young kids inspired by it. In 1982, while they were still in elementary school, our next guest decided to make their own version of the biggest action films of all time. 7 years later, they had completed Raiders of the Lost Ark, the adaptation, which has become an underground film festival hit. Please welcome Chris Strompoulos, Eric Zala, and Jason Lamb. Right here, ladies and gentlemen. You guys are in the whole thing you did is in Vanity Fair this month. Fascinating story. Let's go back to '82. There were other movies that came out around there. I think '81 was 10 or something like that. The Bo Derek did nothing for you guys, and then
I would say that.
'83 I think or later was Purple Rain. But this movie changed your life when you saw it, or what?
Completely changed my life. Saw it in July of '81 when it opened. Wanted to inhabit the world of Indiana Jones and all the adventure coming off my Star Wars phase, you know.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones was a much more accessible character and wanted to be Indiana Jones, was determined to be Indiana Jones.
Where'd you guys grow up to? What town?
Mississippi on the Gulf Coast, Biloxi.
Yeah.
Ocean Springs.
Because you guys were all together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you saw it together or no?
Saw it separately. That's the thing, is that Eric and I were going to school together, and I had the Raiders of the Lost Ark comic book.
Yeah.
And I was on the bus, and Eric needed some good reading, and I sort of, he said, can I borrow it? And I said, well, sure. Have you seen Raiders? And he said, yeah, I loved it. I said, really? Cool. So,
and a friendship was born.
Yeah, and a friendship was born.
Yeah,
I called him, and we set up a meeting together when we were like 11 and 12, and there it was. You know, little do we know the next 7 years would be spent on
and you guys equally were impressed with the movie.
Yeah, I mean, we absolutely loved it. I mean, when Chris gave me a call, I had no idea that it would take 7 years. I think we all would have been terrified had we known. But,
what was the call? This is a 10-year-old calling a 10-year-old saying, "Let's make this movie." Whose idea was it? Your idea?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what were you thinking?
What was I mean, I was just overcome with the fantasy, and so I got together with Eric, and I just said, you know, let's do this. Let's like remake Raiders of the Lost Ark, and Eric, and you thought that, you know?
Yeah, I thought, okay, sure, I'll just walk on the set. I envisioned all the sets and costumes being put together. Little did I know, the only thing that Chris had done up to that point was purchase the script from Walden Books.
And cast myself.
Right. And what were you doing the whole time?
For the first year, I just kept hearing rumors. I'm like, I want to be a part of this.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to be Rick Baker's special effects since 4th grade. I used to do old man makeup and gore, and the way I knew it worked good is because our parents would freak out.
Right.
And then Eric and Chris were trying to make this Forrestal corpse, and they couldn't make it. So Chris gives me a call, and I come over, and they hand me this little clay thing, and they make it work. So I took Brillo pads and everything, and then I was their special effects artist, and went on from there.
Born.
And did you guys? Was this a result? Did you guys get like a cut from the baseball team, or did you not? were you active in sports? I mean, this was time-consuming, right?
It was very time-consuming, and you know, seeing as how we probably didn't know many girls at that time, and didn't have, you know, we weren't the real socialites. You know, we sort of went into the escapist sort of geek world of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Were your parents supportive?
Very supportive.
Yeah.
My mom, you know, bless her heart, allowed us to shoot in the basement. We were fortunate enough to have a very large basement.
Yeah.
And as I think a clip is planned, you'll see we nearly burned the damn house down.
Yeah.
And amazingly, they allowed us to continue filming, so very supportive.
What was your goal? Just to do it for the fun of it, or did you want to sell it?
Absolutely no goals. So that's the whole thing. Is that the only thing we wanted to do was finish it.
Accomplish it, right?
Just you know, from beginning to end, and you know, just I wanted to be Indiana Jones, and we, you know.
For me, I mean, as the director of the film, more than anything else, I wanted to see this movie. I mean, what would a teenage shot-for-shot remake of Raiders of the Lost Ark look like?
Right.
And
your enthusiasm at 10 years old didn't wane by the time you were done at 17 or 18 years old, right?
Well, we certainly had our moments where we wanted to give up. I mean, and I think that's sort of like the magic of the trio, that we kept each other intact, and it was sort of accountability, you know. And I would want to give up, and Eric was pretty much the one that you know, stayed. Come on, guys, let's keep going. Come on. And Jason would want to give up, and Eric would have his doubts, but we all sort of like just stuck to it.
And what was the longest break when you wouldn't shoot?
There was a year where you know, Eric and I, as you might know from the article, we certainly had our falling out, and
Yeah. 7 years is a long time, and in that time, lots of ups and downs.
it was over a girl.
Yeah, was it?
Yeah.
Of course.
That's refreshing to hear that. And it cost $5,000. Is that
Yeah,
you guys?
it cost
out of your
$5,000.
pockets.
That's our best guess. I mean, we you know, didn't keep track, and
Right.
the only means of getting thing was, you know, I would say to Chris, okay, budget. For Christmas time, Chris, you ask for the bullwhip.
Right.
My birthday, I'll ask for the hat.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's see now. First, we're going to see the Boulder clip. This is the original and your guys' adaptation. Let's see this.
Here's Harrison.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Thank you.
Now, who was that playing Indiana Jones?
That was me.
That was you.
That was me. Yep.
And then you guys met Spielberg? You got a letter from him.
We got a letter from him, and which was the icing on the cake.
Yeah,
certainly.
exactly. To briefly sum it up, as Chris noted, this was never supposed to happen. We made this movie for ourselves, and it sat on our shelves after we completed it 15 years ago until it was discovered by Eli Roth, who's the director of Cabin Fever. He loved it and got it to Spielberg, who apparently loved it also enough to ask Eli to track us down.
Wow.
And get our addresses and sent each of us a very kind letter.
You got the letter, and then today somehow you met him. How did that work?
Did.
Wow.
Well, we have a deal that's actually been kind of like, you know, it's now public as of this week.
Tell them about it.
With Scott Rudin Productions and Paramount Studios,
Right.
that this whole Raiders saga from, you know, 82 to 89 is now in the plans of being made into a feature film, which is very cool. And so Mr. Rudin made a phone call to Mr. Spielberg, and Mr. Spielberg was kind enough to set up some time for us today. And we went over to Amblin and had a really amazing time.
So what did you guys do with Steven? You just
We
watch,
just-
sit down and
had
watch
fun.
stuff, or
We just sat out and just kind of hung out with each other and talked
Yeah.
about movies and talked about Raiders. And, you know, I mean, the thing is that it's really an amazing experience because, you know, during this time, it's such a pivotal time when you're a kid.
Yeah.
And you are following in the footsteps of your mentors, you know, and
Yeah.
you're following in the footsteps of your teachers. And what greater teachers to have than Steven Spielberg and George Lucas and Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Yeah.
I mean, it's inspirational.
yeah. We should point out. I assume you guys didn't skip any class in the filming of this. You guys went to school the whole time. You did
Oh, yeah.
after school and on the weekends,
We
right?
just did it during the summers.
Just in the summers?
Just in the summers. We would go to school, and, you know, I was going to school out of state and in Mississippi, and
Right.
we'd come back every summer and round up everybody summer after summer. And as you can imagine, you know, children are probably reluctant to do Raiders summer after summer after summer. It's
Yeah.
like, shut up, put that Nazi costume on. Come on.
Exactly.
Come on.
I had this battered list of names of neighborhood kids that I would call, you know, hey, Jimmy, come on, we're filming this weekend. Oh, it rained last time, you know.
Yeah.
So,
But also, it didn't end for Eric and I because we would continue during the winter to build the sets, and I would spend mad scientist hours making explosives and figuring out how to make the melting heads and all
Lighting
that
each other
stuff.
on fire.
So for Eric and I, it was 24/7 year round.
Right. It's fun being kids, right? It's fun experimenting. One more clip? The truck clip? Yeah. Okay. Walk us through the truck clip.
Well, the truck scene was probably when we were at our strongest. You know, we figured a bunch of stuff out. There's Harrison, of course. And there we go.
Yeah.
all right.
And you know, our truck scene consisted of about 76 separate shots. And what people don't know is that our truck didn't have an engine in it, and we had to. There's me. I really went under the truck, and
Wow.
and our
amazing.
parents didn't. There we go. Yeah, that was a good time.
Yeah.
That's very impressive. It's amazing. I could talk to you guys longer, but we're out of time.
No problem.
Congratulations.
Greg, thank you for
Good
having us on.
perseverance. Nice
Appreciate
meeting
it.
you guys. Big
Thanks a lot.
hand for these guys. Thank you very much. Chris Strompoulos, Eric Zala, Jason Lamb. We'll be right back with Hanson.